Thank you very much, Adriana, for talking with us. So I'm going to start out and just ask you a very simple question, which is, can you just tell me a little bit about Girls and Tech and your role within that company?
Sure. I am the CEO and founder of Girls in Tech, and I started the organization in 2007 in San Francisco to solve the problem of leveling the playing field for women within the STEM fields.
Okay, great. All right, it is a cool organization. So the first question that I'd like to ask you is could you talk a little bit and explain a little bit about the problem that you asked Softjourn to help you address?
Sure. The issue really was helping to solve one of our corporate partners' major qualms, which is diversifying their workforce and finding diverse talent to fill technical roles. Since the inception of those conversations, it's now spread through really all roles within their companies and really highlighting opportunities and exposing great opportunities for minority groups. So not just women of diverse backgrounds, but also LGBTQ and other groups of minorities that could help fill those roles. And that's still an ongoing issue or challenge, I should say, but we look at it as a great opportunity. And instead of just providing just programs and curriculum to help our members in terms of skill building and creating opportunities and resources for them, we thought to actually create a platform where we can encourage our corporate partners to put job listings in the platform and create corporate profiles to really promote their culture and opportunities, career resources, things like that could really help our members in terms of achieving their career goals. And similarly, we really wanted to support our members that are currently looking for employment, a mechanism to discover really interesting and relevant job opportunities within the companies that are currently our corporate partners and subscribers. So I really do think that this solution was eminent. I don't think we're the first company to create or think of an idea like this, but given that Girls in Tech has such a vast database of global members within 52 cities around the world, in 38 countries and 6 continents, over 100,000 members. And we also have a really, really well-known brand. So we thought that it would be great to couple that with a platform that could really help solve the problem of discovery of interesting job opportunities and exposure of great jobs to our community.
Okay. All right. Wow. All right. Well, that's very great background too on the problem. So that's very helpful. And why did you think maybe working with Softjourn was different than any of your previous experience?
So it's been a great opportunity and a great experience working with Softjourn. We definitely had a few references of companies and my contacts personally and professionally that have worked with Softjourn and have spoken very highly about the experience and the results of the product that you are working on, the solution that you're working on. So we had those few references which really helped us build that confidence, because we did have a not so great experience previously, and we did invest money and time and effort into wireframing and developing the recruitment platform. And then because it wasn't up to par, both from a user interface as well as from a back end perspective, we sort of had to start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
So in doing the research with a few of the references and also working with you and your team and getting samples of work that you've done in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and getting that initial sort of overview of what the product could look like, I felt that there was deep knowledge and deep experience of what a recruitment platform could look like,
Mm-hmm.
and how it would benefit not only our subscribers but our users.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in terms of functionality, the team at Softjourn was very knowledgeable, provided guidance and advice in terms of the user experience, new and interesting product features that could help differentiate the platform from
Mm-hmm.
other platforms out there, and really were attentive and well organized in terms of the workflow
Mm-hmm.
and delivering upon product features in a timely way. So that overall was has been our experience to date, and we're
Mm-hmm.
continuing to work with you, the Softjourn team, to
Okay.
ensure that the
Mm-hmm.
functionality and the product is up to par, and that we're listening to our testers
Mm-hmm.
that provide detailed feedback on an
Mm-hmm.
ongoing basis, so
Mm-hmm.
that when we launch officially to the world in April of 2020, then we hopefully will get subscribers that will
Mm-hmm.
invest money and also reap the benefits of working with Girls in Tech and subscribing to the platform.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. All right. Well, that's great to hear. Good news all around, I think, for both sides. So since you did mention that you're planning on launching officially in April of 2020, but you have a soft launch, guess, going on right now, right?
Mhm.
For the jobs recruitment site. So can you maybe talk about what has been the feedback that you've received from people who are actually using it? What are some of the results you've had so far?
So the feedback has been mixed. And I think because a lot of the early testers work for high tech companies, a lot of them work for enterprise companies. A lot of them have actually used companies like LinkedIn Recruiter or resources, other types of recruitment software solutions to help with recruitment efforts. So it has sort of been an array of feedback. And what we're really honing in on is simplification of the platform, and
Mm-hmm.
also our messaging and how we um, market and message, create the messaging around the platform,
Right.
so that people really know how to compare, or who to compare us to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So comparing Girls in Tech's job listing site is to LinkedIn Recruiter is an apples to apples.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really honing in on who our competitors are,
Mm-hmm.
and doing a
Mm-hmm.
SWOT analysis on that, so that we
Mm-hmm.
can really compare our product features to theirs and
Mm-hmm.
understand how to make ours as robust as possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're working through that process. And so far, the feedback has been, I would say, medium. And we are taking all of that into consideration. We're really focused on areas of the user experience, like that are important to us as a company, like the transactions platform,
Mm-hmm.
an integrated product feature that doesn't redirect someone to like PayPal, for instance, and they get an invoice from PayPal. We
Right.
want everything to be integrated as an official Girls in Tech product.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that plugin or product feature should
Mm-hmm.
be sort of a white label solution,
Mm-hmm.
fully integrated.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of creating profiles, that should be seamless, soup to nuts, from
Mm-hmm.
signing in to updating content
Mm-hmm.
really easily and saving that.
Mm-hmm.
The discovery and search engine should also be really robust, based on the tagging algorithm that
Mm-hmm.
is included in there. And we want to make sure that is really refined, so
Mm-hmm.
we so our subscribers as well as job seekers can benefit from that feature. So there's a lot of different things that we're working on simultaneously. But one thing, as the product team, which is basically a couple of us, are really thinking about is simplification and internal messaging, and how and setting the tone and the expectation for the product. So we're not like over promising and under delivering, which a lot of times I think is probably the case, and really focusing on a solution that is basic, but it helps achieve the goal that our job seekers are looking for, and helps achieve the goal of the companies which try to fill roles. Because as you might have remembered, we initially had the WordPress plugin, which is so basic. Like, it was a little wonky little plugin, and we actually were making money off of that consistently, right? So that recurring revenue really brought a light bulb into my head. So, this is definitely something that people want, people will pay for, and people are looking for this solution to solve the problem of finding diverse talent for their workforce. So that was the initial sort of impetus for us to start these discussions. So that's a very sort of long-winded way of discussing.
So that was your first, that was your first validation of it, that you knew that there was a value in the market for this kind of product. And right now, you mentioned, since you're still doing validation in the market and you're going to be launching next April, is there a reason that you chose April of 2020 for the big launch?
That's a good question. I think we wanted to make sure that we had all of the product features really tight, and we were very happy with the user experience and the back-end functionality before going live. And we did have a few small fixes that we needed to be updated, and a few different changes. In some cases, we added a product feature which we then ended up taking out, the aptitude test, but we are adding another functionality where our subscribers can actually add their own tests, really through a PDF upload or through a questionnaire, integrated questionnaire. So we are rejiggering that a bit. And we've decided that we hope to have all of the simplified product features done by the end of December of 2019, and then do an internal launch, which means expose the platform to our member base, so over 100,000 users, so that they can put up their profiles and their CVs, and if they're looking for a job, they can say specifically what they're looking for. And then by the time those are all uploaded, and hopefully we'll have a lot, then we'll feel very comfortable opening up the floodgates, essentially, to the potential subscribers, which that would be from April 2020.
Okay. All right. Well, you have a plan. That sounds good. That's exciting. You've mentioned a lot about this already, but maybe just one thing, in your opinion, that has been the best thing about working with Softjourn so far.
Yeah, I do think that it's all about organization of workflow. And I think that has a big, something that I really care about, because, we're, the whole team is virtual and we work remotely. And so it's really important for us to have organization of, product features and rollout of the different features within the roadmap and timeline, and doing things in a timely manner. So the workflow has been very easy, and having the weekly calls for all of the different products or projects that we're moving forward with Softjourn, that has been helpful. The follow through after each call, just as giving a synopsis of what was discussed and the action items for each stakeholder, I think is really important. I do think the pricing structure is reasonable. I think that has been an important part of why we decided to work with Softjourn.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
One thing that, I would love to focus on is really understanding, in terms of the overall budget and time allotted
Mm-hmm.
to different product updates, is
Mm-hmm.
really honing in on, what Girls in Tech can do as a product team
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that we're communicating effectively, so
Mm-hmm.
that we don't have to go back and fix any kind of upgrades or features, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We can just do it
Okay.
all at once, and then
Mm-hmm.
the time allotted and the effort put
Mm-hmm.
into developing those, and also money essentially,
Right.
can
Mm-hmm.
be invested in a way that's
Mm-hmm.
productive and fruitful for both
Mm-hmm.
parties.
Mm-hmm. In theory, so that there's a one-time shot of definition, development, your acceptance testing, and it works as expected, versus sometimes there is a lot of more flexibility and there is a little bit more back and forth, because sometimes when you see something, think, oh, that's not what I meant, or oh, that works a little different than I expected. So sometimes there is a little bit of that, those
Yeah,
loops.
that's to be
Yeah.
expected. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also,
Mm-hmm.
we're learning too what works, what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a process. But if
Mm-hmm.
there's anything we can be doing to more
Mm-hmm.
effectively
Mm-hmm.
communicate in a detailed way
Mm-hmm.
what the
Mm-hmm.
expectation is, it's better
Mm-hmm.
all the way around.
Just as a follow-up then, so you're an entrepreneur, you're a female entrepreneur. I'm
Mhm.
wondering, as a last question, do you have some advice that you would give to your other fellow female entrepreneurs if they're looking at working with service providers who are virtual from them? I think, what would you advise them on?
Yeah, I think that it is the best way to go. There are a lot of female entrepreneurs, or just entrepreneurs in general, who come to me and ask advice on, hiring a CTO. And I always say it's
Mm-hmm.
great if you're like
Mm-hmm.
going into your B series or late in A series, and
Mm-hmm.
you secured funding,
Mm-hmm.
and you have an idea of exactly what the product or services that you're building will
Mm-hmm.
look like, the
Mm-hmm.
actual
Mm-hmm.
functionality as well as the revenue model.
Mm-hmm.
But for first time entrepreneurs, especially ones that are bootstrapped in funding,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would
Mm-hmm.
say definitely work with a consultancy
Mm-hmm.
company that can help and
Mm-hmm.
manipulate the um, essentially the investment based on what you have. And
Mm-hmm.
then also, a consultancy can help with the MVP, really create
Mm-hmm.
a basic platform or service or app or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and ensure that you're not breaking the bank. uh,
Mm-hmm.
at that point you haven't invested, hopefully that much money, and
Mm-hmm.
decide whether or not it's a viable product or service.
Mm-hmm.
And much like what Softjourn did for Girls in Tech, you
Mm-hmm.
guys spent a lot of time up front,
Mm-hmm.
sort of pro bono, essentially, giving
Mm-hmm.
us an idea of what the wireframe of the product would be, what the
Right.
functionality
Mm-hmm.
would be, your user
Mm-hmm.
experience, so we could
Mm-hmm.
get an idea of what you could offer should we
Right.
want to
Mm-hmm.
move forward. So
Mm-hmm.
that really prepares the entrepreneur to really get an
Mm-hmm.
idea of what the expectation should be,
Mm-hmm.
and how much money that they'll have to raise in order to
Mm-hmm.
work with you.
Right.
Again,
Okay.
what I said before, Softjourn is very reasonably priced
Mm-hmm.
compared to what I've seen
Mm-hmm.
and have discussed with other fellow entrepreneurs and CTOs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think entrepreneurs, they feel that they need a co-founder, and that is a big myth. And I built the
Okay.
organization without a co-founder,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and relied a lot on consultants, and still do to this day,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that various areas of the business are moving forward. And it's worked really, really well for us.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on wood, we haven't had major issues with funding.
Right.
But I think
Mm-hmm.
it always, it, as long as there's a communication,
Mm-hmm.
consistent communication,
Mm-hmm.
organization, good workflow. Like for example, we use Asana and
Right.
Jira when we
Mm-hmm.
work with Softjourn.
Mm-hmm.
consistency with calls and things like that, I don't think it's an issue at all to work with
Mm-hmm.
consultants
Mm-hmm.
or contractors. So that
Okay.
would be,
Mm-hmm.
as it pertains to working with Softjourn, that would be my advice. And just in general, I think being an entrepreneur is freaking awesome. Like, as you can
Mm-hmm.
attest to as
Mm-hmm.
well. I
Right.
think there's nothing better than
Mm-hmm.
being able to control your destiny, and not
Mm-hmm.
have to report to anyone. And
Except your
um,
clients, except the
well, yeah, your sponsors, but if you have a strong team and your team is
Mm-hmm.
happy and
Mm-hmm.
you really believe in your product or service or your
Mm-hmm.
company, your
Mm-hmm.
consultancy,
Mm-hmm.
then most of the time your clients will be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are all about customer service. Girls in Tech is
Mm-hmm.
all about customer service. So if
Mm-hmm.
something is not right, if people are
Mm-hmm.
not satisfied, we'll fix it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll offer something else
Right.
so that they
Mm-hmm.
can be happy.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
So that is really,
All
that's
right.
really at the core
Mm-hmm.
of who we are, what we do. And, we, it starts with the employees,
Mm-hmm.
and if the employees are happy, then they'll be
Mm-hmm.
productive. And then,
Mm-hmm.
then our partners, and then
Mm-hmm.
our members. So
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
is my just general advice.
All right. Well, that's very good advice. Thank you very much to your fellow entrepreneurs, whether they be female or not.
Hmm.
I wholeheartedly agree. So, Adriana, it has been a pleasure to talk with you. I thank you so much for all of your feedback and for your willingness to help your fellow entrepreneurs.